been in the creek? Huh? Look up here. Hey, look at the camera, silly goose. Have you been in the creek? You been having fun? You say, welcome back to Men on the Mountain?
Welcome back to Men on the Mountain.
Do you say that a lot around the house, goofing around? Huh? Welcome back to Men on the Mountain. Is that what you say? Oh, that face looks like you've been camping. Let me see that camping face. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Got the dab in. There we go. Hey guys, it is Labor Day, Saturday morning of Labor Day weekend, excuse me. And most of my family is still asleep. I'm going camping this weekend. I'm really looking forward to spending some time with family, but while they're sleeping, I'm going to sneak out for an early morning shed hunt. It's also the opening day of grouse season here in Utah, so I've got just a little single shot 410 that my boys use that I'm going to hike with me, and so we'll hunt for sheds, and if we see a grouse, we'll see if we can bring home a grouse and cook it up tonight for dinner at the camp. So anyway, it's been a while since I've been out in the mountains, a couple of weeks, maybe even 3. Just been real busy, but a lot of great stuff going on. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys are having fun with your family, whatever you're doing for Labor Day, and see if we can find some antlers and find some grouse. Thanks guys, bye. You guys just got faked out by a stick antler. It was quite a bit whiter than everything around it. I thought it was sun bleached. I don't have my binoculars today. I left them down at the camp, which seems to be a common theme on my videos lately. I'm always forgetting stuff. But anyway, I dropped down, not too far, thankfully. I maybe dropped down about 80 yards from the line I was walking, but it faked me out. It was just a stick buried in some moss, but it sure was whiter than everything else. I'm going to flip this around so you can kind of see the view. I'm probably about half to 2/3 of the way up the ridge. Haven't found anything yet. So since I'm shed hunting and grouse hunting, I tell you what I'll do. If I don't get one or the other, then I'll do shedder consequences when I get home. So hopefully we can pick up either a grouse or some antlers while we're up here. It's my favorite time of the year. It's early September, September 1st in fact. I had a sweatshirt on when I left camp this morning, but I'm already down to just my t-shirt, and there's not a cloud in the sky. Leaves are starting to change up high. It's just awesome. Awesome being up here, awesome seeing how amazing God is and His creation. And so hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. Well, guys, this could be dangerous. We got a can of mystery meat here. I've had this in my pack since a backpacking trip we did a year ago, and the label's rubbed off, but it says best by March of 2020, so it's still good. I don't know if this is chicken. Sometimes I'll get like the ham spread, and I usually eat this stuff on a Triscuit or wheat thin or something like that. So we're about to find out what we're having for lunch today. Here we go. My guess is it's the ham spread. Oh man, that looks nasty. That's what it is. It's the ham spread. Looks like cat food, doesn't it? Oh, gross. I'll get some of that junk off the top and mix it around and put it on a Triscuit. Keep going. I haven't found any sheds today and no grouse. So hopefully this is the worst thing I have to eat today. Hopefully I don't get shedder consequences when I get home and it's worse. So thanks for coming along, guys. I didn't bring my tripod up. I got lazy. And I feel bad about that. When I don't have that tripod, I know the videos are more bouncy. I've got some video of a caterpillar that I took on the way up here, and it was bouncing all around. So I'm going to make a commitment to you guys that I'm not going to leave and head up in the mountains without bringing that tripod. That way at least the video quality is going to be better for you guys and won't be as bouncy. So thanks for following along. I'm almost at the very top of the ridge. I can see it. It's probably only 80 yards away. And then I'll fool around kind of on the summit for a little bit and then start heading back down.
Well, there wasn't much of a hunter today. I guess I was a forager though. Found some elderberries. I don't like elderberries, so I'm not gonna eat any of them. I've eaten a few in the mountains before, but not today. But they have a lot of these along Logan Canyon. In fact, when you're driving from the road, you can see them. Oftentimes, just driving by, you'll see them out there. So, look at that jawbone, guys. That thing is massive. It's been here forever. It's got moss growing in between all the teeth. It's pretty cool. See all the moss. But just to kind of give you some perspective, there's my hand. So, what's your best guess, guys? Is that a moose? Elk jaw, maybe? They do graze beef cows here. I don't know, maybe it's a cow. This looks awful narrow for a cow. So somebody out there smarter than me, let me know what that is. Please comment. Almost back at camp. You might be able to hear the four-wheelers in the background on the road. So just about at camp. Thanks for coming along. Hope you guys have a good day today. And if you're out in the mountains for Labor Day, stay safe and have a good time with your family. Well, guys, if you watched my Labor Day video, you know that I didn't find a shed or shoot a grouse. So I did shed or consequences, and that's the result. Get a cat. My wife and daughters have been wanting a cat for a long time. I am not a cat guy, but we broke down and got a cat. So they haven't named it yet. So you guys, we're going to open it up and see what kind of suggestions we get from you guys who watch the video. So if you have a cool name for this little cat, this is the first time I've seen it. I actually just got back from football practice. Is it a boy or girl? Boy. So it's a boy cat. So bring me your coolest boy cat names. That's an oxymoron. There's no such thing as a cool boy cat name, but anyway. Yeah. Give us your best name options and we'll see what we name this little guy. So, hey, thanks again for all you guys who've been watching the videos. Your support means more than you'll ever know. And I'm just super excited that some of you guys have been encouraged by some of the Men on the Mountains that we've done. I've had some really neat comments and some good feedback. So I'm just thankful that God's been able to use it some. And so we're going to do a series for the next several videos, kind of a multi-part series on the story of Jonathan and his armor bearer, one of my favorite stories in the Old Testament. We're going to call it Lessons in Leadership from Jonathan and his armor bearer. So we'll get you guys more details on that. That'll come up in this next video. Jordan just joined us to play with the cat, and that's my wife Rhonda playing with the strings. So anyway, thanks for joining us, guys, and have a good rest of your evening. Good morning, Men on the Mountain people. Hope that you are having a good week this morning. I just got through spending about an hour and a half to 2 hours in an area scouting for Caleb and Andrew's upcoming muzzleloader hunt. And you will watch that on the next video. But I wanted on this video to start the series that I mentioned over Labor Day about Jonathan and his armor bearer. It's really one of my favorite stories in all of the Old Testament. It comes from 1 Samuel chapter 14. So to give you some context, Jonathan was the son of Saul, who was the first king of Israel after they had gone back and taken over the promised land that God had promised while they were in Egypt. And there's a story where Jonathan and his armor bearer are in camp, and Jonathan says, hey, let's go over to this Philistine outpost. And there were two cliffs on each side of this valley that they were in, or the pass they were in. And Jonathan says, if the Philistines say, wait there, then we won't go up to them. But if they say, come up to us, then we'll know that that's a sign that the Lord has delivered them into our hands. And his armor bearer says, do whatever you have in mind. I am with you, heart and soul. And so the Philistines say, come up here. Jonathan and his armor bearer go up. I mean, it's an epic battle. I mean, William Wallace has nothing on Jonathan. I watched a video one time of what the cliffs look like that they had to climb up before they could even start fighting the Philistines, and just the climb up would have worn you out. It would have been exhausting. But anyway, I encourage you to read the whole story for yourself. It's an amazing story. And then we're going to spend 3 or probably 4 minutes on the mountains talking about this, but I just want to look at some lessons in leadership that I think we can gain from this story. You know, to me, the definition of a leader is someone who can cast a vision and then get people to act, or someone who can lay out a plan and then get people to do it, or someone who will lead and get people to follow. To me, that's the basic principle of what it means to be a leader. Can you cast vision, and then can you get people to follow and do what you ask them to do? And so I love the armor bearer's response when Jonathan says, hey, here's what I have in mind. The armor bearer says, do whatever you have in mind. I am with you, heart and soul. That's the essence of leadership. When people say, hey, do whatever you have in mind and we're with you, we're going to follow you. And so the first thing that I want to point out in this story is that good leaders over communicate. So if you think about the role that an armor bearer played, that armor bearer was basically Jonathan's servant. He had to be obedient. Jonathan didn't have to let him know what his plans were. He didn't have to let him know what he was thinking. But we see here that Jonathan over communicates, that he tells his armor bearer what he has in mind. He tells his armor bearer what he believes the sign will be that God's going to deliver the Philistines into his hands. And so as leaders, we should over communicate. And you might be watching this and say, well, I'm not really a leader. Well, if you're married, you should be leading your home. If you have kids, you should be leading your children. At work, you have opportunities to lead. If you coach, you have opportunities to lead. And we can always become better leaders. So hopefully this will encourage you to over communicate. And I know that can be tough for some guys especially. We don't tend to communicate a lot. But that's the first lesson I see from Jonathan and his armor bearer, is that good leaders over communicate. And so we're going to dig into a lot more things in this story. There's just a lot you can draw from. I think it's a really rich story. I hope you guys will check it out for yourself. I'll put the scripture reference up on this video, and I'll put it in the description box as well. Thanks for coming along, guys. I sure appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a good day.